with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have.
For more than a year, fans have watched Sheryl Swoopes repeatedly take aim at Caitlin Clark. From claiming Clark was a 25-year-old competing against teenagers to insisting her rookie season wasn't all that impressive and suggesting veteran players didn't want to share the court with her. The criticism seemed relentless. With every new interview, another controversial statement fueled the debate surrounding the WNBA's brightest young star.
Your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of
hard, right? Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dumb.
Basketball icon Cheryl Miller stepped into the conversation and completely shifted the narrative. During her appearance on the All the Smoke podcast, the Hall of Famer didn't hold back, calling out the misinformation and even referring to Clark's critics as big dummies. Miller's passionate defense of Caitlin Clark not only dismantled months of criticism, but also revealed something exciting about the future of the Indiana Fever that has fans buzzing. So what exactly did Miller say, and why is everyone talking about it? Let's dive in.
Player of the Year, two-time national championship, two-time tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we break down Cheryl Miller's powerful comments, ask yourself this. Why has one of basketball's greatest legends seemed so determined to discredit the WNBA's biggest rising superstar? To understand Miller's response, we first have to look at the long list of controversial claims Sheryl Swoopes has made about Caitlin Clark, from her college career at Iowa all the way through her historic rookie season.
Also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20.
The controversy began with one of Swoopes' most talked about claims. She incorrectly suggested that Caitlin Clark was a 25-year-old player competing against much younger opponents during her college career. In reality, Clark was only 22 years old and simply completing her fourth season at Iowa, just like countless other college seniors. After being challenged on the inaccurate statement, Swoopes attempted to explain it away by referencing COVID eligibility rules, but many fans felt that explanation failed to address the facts. Rookie season.
Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots.
Be that claim also fell apart under scrutiny. Caitlin Clark broke the NCAA scoring record in just 4 seasons, the same amount of time as many other college stars. Although the NCAA's COVID eligibility rule could have allowed her to return for a 5th season, Clark chose to enter the WNBA instead. Even after predicting Clark wouldn't dominate at the professional level, Swoopes watched as the rookie rewrote expectations. Clark finished her debut season averaging 19.2 points and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game, earning Rookie of the Year honors while establishing herself as one of the league's premier playmakers.
Going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So
as the criticism continued, many basketball fans began questioning the fairness of the narrative surrounding Clark. Eventually, Swoopes was replaced on the broadcast team for an Indiana Fever game by Nancy Lieberman, who openly challenged several of the misleading claims that had been circulating about the rookie sensation. For many observers, it marked a turning point in the public conversation.
what I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points.
Still, fans were waiting for someone with unquestioned basketball credibility to address the situation directly. That moment finally arrived when Cheryl Miller appeared on the All the Smoke podcast. The Hall of Famer, who had recently coached Caitlin Clark, delivered one of the strongest and most authentic defenses of the young superstar. Rather than avoiding the controversy, Miller confronted it head-on, making it clear she believed much of the criticism had gone far beyond fair basketball analysis.
Since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, you know, there was this quote by Cheryl that said, you know, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
Miller's support wasn't casual. It was passionate and direct. Her now viral response to Clark's critics was simple but unforgettable. "Come on, you big dummies." The studio immediately erupted with laughter, but Miller's message carried a serious point. Drawing from her own experience coaching Clark, she praised the rookie's work ethic, competitiveness, and commitment to improving every day. Coming from one of basketball's greatest players, those words carried tremendous weight. Miller also highlighted the double standards surrounding Clark and challenged the narrative that had been built around the young star.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get this.
According to Miller, there's one reality that many critics simply refuse to acknowledge. Caitlin Clark's arrival has brought unprecedented attention to the WNBA. Increased television ratings, sold-out arenas, greater media coverage, and rising commercial opportunities have benefited the entire league, including many of the very people who continue to criticize her. Whether fans agree or disagree, Clark's impact on women's basketball has become impossible to ignore.
Statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship, it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life.
During the podcast, Miller reflected on her experience coaching Caitlin Clark in the 2024 WNBA All-Star game. She smiled as she called it the best coaching job ever, and described Clark as someone who genuinely loves the game. Then the conversation took a more personal turn. Miller explained that she could relate to Clark because she understood what it felt like to be unfairly criticized throughout her own career. Having spent time with Clark away from the cameras, Miller said she saw a humble, hardworking competitor whose passion for basketball stood out immediately. Rather than relying on headlines or social media narratives, Miller formed her opinion through firsthand experience, and that made her defense of Caitlin Clark all the more powerful.
No, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. Yeah. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she...
Miller made it clear that the public narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark simply didn't match reality. Instead of buying into months of headlines and online criticism, she relied on her own firsthand experience. In just a few honest comments, Miller dismantled much of the media-driven narrative while offering a rare glimpse into the qualities that make Clark one of the most unique young stars in basketball today.
Look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
One of the most emotional moments came after Indiana earned its first victory. The hug shared between Cheryl Miller and Caitlin Clark wasn't just a friendly exchange. It symbolized support at a time when Clark had been facing relentless criticism from every direction. Reflecting on that moment, Miller remembered embracing Clark as tightly as she could. According to Miller, Clark seemed relieved to finally have someone publicly standing beside her after weeks of constant scrutiny and criticism.
WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my
skin
color.
Miller didn't simply offer encouragement. She shared wisdom earned through years of overcoming challenges herself. She told Clark she was proud of how she had handled the pressure and encouraged her to enjoy the moment while learning from every experience. Most importantly, Miller urged her to stay true to herself no matter what anyone else said. Those words became more than advice. They served as reassurance for a rookie carrying enormous expectations while under an intense spotlight.
Can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised.
Mm-hmm.
And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't.
When Cheryl Miller speaks about basketball, people pay attention because her accomplishments command respect. Her legendary career includes multiple National Player of the Year honors, NCAA championships, Olympic success, and a well-earned place in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Yet what impressed Miller most wasn't just Clark's scoring ability. It was the complete skill set she brings to the game, particularly the vision and creativity that elevate everyone around her.
Her pass, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version. Thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
Miller believes one part of Clark's game still doesn't receive enough recognition: her passing ability. While many focus on Clark's long-range shooting, Miller emphasized that her court vision is what truly separates her from other young stars. In Miller's eyes, Clark isn't simply an elite scorer. She's a player capable of transforming an entire offense. Coming from one of basketball's greatest minds, that praise carries tremendous significance.
Hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her. I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this. Use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what.
The 2024 WNBA All-Star Game represented far more than a showcase event. It became the beginning of a relationship that could have a lasting impact on the Indiana Fever's future. When Caitlin Clark addressed Cheryl Miller as coach for the first time, neither of them could have predicted that the experience would spark a connection many fans now believe could influence the franchise for years to come.
Is a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head, and I hope people understand that. But it's everything that
Long before they worked together, Clark had admired Miller from a distance. She described Miller as one of the true pioneers of women's basketball and spoke warmly about the positive energy and passion she brings wherever she goes. When the announcement came that Miller would coach the All-Star team, Clark admitted she was genuinely thrilled. For a young player who grew up respecting basketball history, the opportunity to learn from one of the sport's greatest figures meant far more than just another exhibition game.
And I gave her the biggest hug that I could. And when she saw me, she's like, oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side.
Right, they can relate.
The one thing that I said to her, and she was heading into her senior year, was have fun. No matter all the static, just make sure you find that quiet place.
Despite already becoming one of the biggest names in the WNBA, Clark approached Miller with genuine humility. She laughed while recalling that she referred to Miller as coach, only for Miller to jokingly respond that she'd have to earn the title during the game. That light-hearted exchange reflected the mutual respect between the two. More importantly, after spending time with Indiana's young core, Miller became convinced that the Fever possessed the foundation of a future contender. She confidently stated that Indiana has an incredibly bright future, a prediction that carries real weight considering her championship pedigree.
Set a screen for Kaylin. Kaylin don't need a screen. Kaylin's got great handles, and one thing that I don't think people really appreciate about that young lady's game, she can pass the ball.
She can't pass. She got great assists.
The bounce pass
is powerful.
which is one of those.
What impressed Miller most wasn't only Caitlin Clark's individual brilliance, but the fearless mentality shared throughout the Indiana Fever roster. She explained that opponents won't enjoy facing this team because every player competes with confidence and refuses to back down from any challenge. Even more surprising to Miller was the basketball intelligence displayed by the Fever's young stars. She admitted she knew they were talented, but she hadn't fully appreciated just how advanced their understanding of the game truly was. That combination of confidence, toughness, and high basketball IQ is often what separates good teams from championship caliber ones.
What have they done for the women's game from the collegiate level to now? And it's working. And it was only a matter of time. And great narratives, great storylines. But now the bottom line comes down to one thing. It's about basketball. And it's about wins.
What makes Miller's perspective especially valuable is her unique position at the intersection of player development and media narratives. During the 2024 WNBA All-Star game, she witnessed firsthand Clark's greatness in real time. In one straightforward observation, she dismantled months of false narratives being created by the old guard about Clark.
What advice, if any, did you share in that meeting with Kaylee? Because I know that she spoke very highly of you, got great respect for you.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and